Yes, good afternoon. We don't have time for niceties. I need to go get my kid. This camera angle's weird, but we're going to get through this. Welcome to Products of Circumstance, everyone. This is a podcast with Ken Skeen and myself, Fenton Joseph. We discuss mental health and mindset matters through the lens of Black men. The show is mostly unedited, unfiltered, unscripted, and we're just two brothers talking about our life journeys, and hopefully somebody gets something out of it. So all that being said, Ken, tell us what we're talking about today. Quickly.
So today will be, because remember, I do text myself these things. That's how I journal.
Mm-hmm,
All right. So today's gonna be important. Right? The importance of reaching out to make sure people are doing well.
Oh, you saw the Elmo meme?
Or no, I did not, but my wife brought it up to me. And so the other part of the text that I sent myself, so it was recently something on social media with Elmo from Sesame Street.
Yep.
He asked people how they're doing, and surprisingly, people wrote back saying they're not doing well. And actually, yesterday, I had posted something on my social media. Very close cousin of mine, grew up together. A lot of us grew up together. My dad's one of 14, mom's one of 12. I had a lot of cousins, like 70. I have 67 first cousins. A lot of them are in Belize, like 2/3 of them are still in Belize. Another third of them is just spread across America between New York, Florida, Texas, California, yada, yada, yada. And I posted something because one of my cousins, Tina, was, she passed away about 11 years ago, something like that. And I posted because I was thinking about her, and people who know, what happened. And I put the post up, and I got a lot of, condolences, but I didn't want to sit there and explain myself of what was going on. But she had crossed my mind, and I was very close with her growing up. She was like one of my best friends growing up. Like a lot of my cousins were. I'm not just singling her out, but she's the one that's no longer here with us. And sometimes you want to ask, like, people like, how you're doing?
Yeah.
And no, she didn't commit suicide. It wasn't like that, but her life was taken. And my wife brought up the whole thing with Elmo. She's like, "Are you okay, babe? Like, you want to talk about it?" And I'm like, "Nah, it wasn't to talk about it. I just felt like, putting a post up because I missed her really a lot yesterday. I just felt like putting that post. I know people usually anyone who does follow me is used to me putting up like 5, 6, 7 reels a day and really keeping the content going. And yesterday I just didn't feel like doing it. I did put that post and maybe one other one up, just about positive reinforcement and just staying positive thinking and mindset. But
you did send me messages about Porsches. You were consistent with that.
That's never going to stop. You and there's 2 other people, they know who they are, that I consistently will send Porsche stuff. It makes me smile. And I know you and those 2 other guys smile when I send it to them and each other. And thank you for sending my dose of Porsche this morning. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so my wife brought up this thing with Elmo, and surprisingly, people. Well, I'm not surprised because, especially men. Again, nothing towards women. Women are good at talking to each other and they're really expressing their emotions. While men, we're taught from young boys, what are you crying for?
Oh my gosh. We were just talking about this last night.
Dust yourself off. Let's do it. Like my 8-year-old was playing soccer in gym, and he fell. He was kicking the ball around. He fell. He scraped up his one of his fingers, like the skin ripped back where it was bleeding. His knee got a bad cut on it. It was bleeding. He had like 4 band-aids. This kid was all bandaged up, like Edward Scissorhands. And I was telling him, like, "Oh, did it hurt?" He's like, "Oh, it hurt a little bit." I'm like, "All right, let's put some peroxide on." He's like, "Does that burn, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit. Don't worry about it." Then I squeeze it on him. Bit. He's like, "Ah." I'm like, "Come on, man up." And then I heard myself say that, and I'm like, "You don't have to man up." I'm like, "If it hurts, it hurts. All right." He's like, "No, it's all right. It's not bad. It's going away." I'm like, "You don't ever have to man up." I'm like, I'm sorry I said that to you because, again, we're always told, and as little boys, man up, man up.
That's good.
Why are you crying? Men need to show their emotion more. I know Fenton and I definitely show our emotion to each other, whether it be on this podcast or just when we're on the phone talking. But more men need to show emotion, and that's why suicide rates in men are higher. Sometimes men don't have someone to reach out to or an outlet for someone to talk to. And again, I didn't personally watch it, but my wife was telling me about the thing with Elmo, and that so many people wrote back saying, "No, I'm not okay." Reach out to your friend, like people who you really love and they're close to you, and everyone's busy. Everyone has a busy life, but how long does it take? we have this technology, right? Everyone has this technology in their pocket.
Mhm.
Send a text message.
Yeah.
You haven't talked to that person in a while, that parent, that friend, that family member in a long time. Send, hey, how is everything? And then instead of just leaving it at that, hey, how is everything? No, but really, how are you doing? And let them really
No, but
know.
really.
But really, not the, fluff of how's
Right.
everything, so you can get back the answer of, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people aren't fine. And they really do want to talk, and they really do want to get out their emotion, but they don't feel like the person asking really wants to hear them or really wants to listen.
Yeah.
And that sucks. I'm fortunate. I am a very fortunate man. I truly am. I have a lot of people in my corner that I can turn to when I need to express my emotion. Fenton, you're one of them. I love you. I truly love you, bro. I don't get me wrong. I can always talk to my wife. She's one of my best friends also. But I'm talking about talking to another man for
Another
a second.
man.
Yeah, talking to another man so I can talk man to man and just say, look, this is how I feel. I don't always need your feedback. Sometimes I just want you to listen.
Yeah.
But when it comes to you, Fenton, I enjoy your feedback. We've both been through different trials and tribulations in our lives that it's easy for us to connect, even though we're not the same. We're like, whether or not people know this, we're not the same. And it works. We're like yin and yang. And it just blends perfectly.
Yeah.
We have a lot of similarities.
Amen. Absolutely you do.
Don't get me wrong. We have plenty of similarities, but us being, like, I guess, just in our own ways, different is what makes, I think, our friendship so much stronger. Yeah. Because we can actually relate and at the same time get the feedback that maybe we're not thinking of, or maybe we're not.
It's a different perspective.
Right, different perspective. Thank you. We get the different perspective of someone you can actually trust their perspective. And again, a lot of men do not have it. They don't. Sorry, I just rambled just now.
No, that was amazing, man, because one of my favorite cousins was here last night, and my wife and I were talking about this. We were talking about this exact same thing. And I want to rehash it because you said some amazing things, but what we settled on was a lot of men do not have other men in their lives that they can be vulnerable with. And when you have a wife and you're expected to be strong and to not cry and to not show emotions because that's what you were taught. Maybe that's not what she was taught. Maybe that's not her expectation of you. Maybe it is. But not having a man that you could talk to. Because I'm the same way. I'm like, my wife, she's my soft space. You know what I'm saying? She's my safe space. She's my soft landing spot. At the same time, before we met, I had men in my life that allowed me to be vulnerable, share my emotions, process, cry on their shoulders if I needed to, without any judgment. It's like, yo, dog, like, what are you crying? Like, are you crying right now? Fenton, you crying? Dog, punch you in the chest. That's just the way a lot of men are. They don't want to talk to their boys because they're going to be harassed and criticized. It's like, yo, this guy's soft, man. He came by the other day. He wanted to have like a eat, pray, love moment. You know, it was like Sex in the City. It was weird. Fenton started crying. I didn't know what to do. You know, we as men, we need to understand that just as much stuff that we're going through and the weight that we have on our shoulders, our boys have that weight on their shoulders as well. So we have to empathize. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would want to be able to, man, it's like this weird, what's that thing? Half the world is waiting for the other half to say hello.
Yeah.
So just say hello. It's like one of your boys is going through and he's just like, man, I really wish that Fenton would just like, maybe just ask me how I'm doing. Maybe I should tell him. Nah, because, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, man, this week was crazy. You know, I should really just hit up Ken and see. No, he's not going to want to hear it. He's going to be like, oh, dog, what's your problem, man? And that's the way men are. You know, I think women have a lot less shame around sharing their feelings, and that's why they're just better at it. And, you know, lo and behold, when they share and they have those bonds with each other, like, they have more emotional health than we do. And meanwhile, you know, our suicide rates are up, our depression rates are up. We have to just let go of the fear of being shamed and criticized. And listen, I'll tell you, it's not like it's not real. You know, one of my brothers, I remember one time, I'm not a complainer, but I texted him and I said something that looked like a complaint. And he was like, "Are you crying?" And I remember looking at my phone and I'm like, "Dog, like I'm trying to reach out, like hold me down." Nope. Your advice, pick up the phone, send somebody a text, check on them. Please, y'all. Men, do that for each other. Just hit up your boy. "Hey man, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm all right." "Nah, really. How are you doing?" That second, "Nah, really, how are you doing?" A lot of times that's when people open up like a window.
Yeah.
You gotta egg them on. I'll leave you with this. I went to a networking event of sorts. I was in the city and there was somebody that I was acquainted with. We don't know each other too well, but we've met on several occasions. I said, "Hey bro, how you doing?" And I could tell by the look on his face, he was not doing well. Right?
Yeah.
"Hey man, how you doing?" I'm all right." I said, "You look like you have something that you want to say. Why don't you talk to me? Tell me, how are you really doing?" "I'm not well." So forth and so on. Family member was not well, sick. I've been feeling like this and, so forth and so on. And we had a moment and we got to talk. And sometimes you can see it. Sometimes you can't. Some people are really good at masking. So it's not like you just, I'm not telling you go outside and look for people who look sad. Throw them up against the wall. Like, "Tell me what's
Let me know
wrong.
what's wrong. What's wrong with you?
Confide in me. I love you. Let me love you." But your people. You know what I'm saying? Start small. Start with your family. Start with the people that are close. You know your people. You know when something's off. And just be that safe space because, we need it sometimes. We got to stop hurting ourselves and holding things in. We got to stop that. You got to stop that. There's nothing manly about suffering in silence. And, you really are just doing yourself and your family a disservice. I like being happy. I like a good cry.
Mm-hmm. No, legit. Look, you're tired when you're done, but you feel good afterwards, man.
It's like I got that stuff off my chest. I'm always talking to my wife and telling her stuff. Oh, this, that, da, 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 da. Now, here's what I will say. And I'm going over time here, but here's what I will say. I'm not somebody who acts on emotion. I allow myself to feel the emotions.
Right.
I see them, I label them, I process them. And you get to a place where once you start sharing in that safe space with people who allow you to be vulnerable, you're allowed to feel your feelings, and then you don't act off of that emotion in a rash way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I felt that. That didn't make me feel good. I felt it. The feeling has passed. And now I can move on with my life in a sensible and rational way, as opposed to, the world is making me feel crazy and I'm just, like you're fighting with people and, you're not being agreeable with people or you harm yourself or whatever. Feel the feelings, man. That's it. That's all I got.
No, they're real. They're real. Another maybe a homework assignment people can do is when you have, I'm sure many people have heard this before, where you write your emotion down. If you're, let's say you're angry at someone or something, just write down, just pen to pad. And you don't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be the best penmanship. It doesn't matter. Just pen to pad, write down your emotions for a second. Take 10 minutes. Yeah, right. Take 10 minutes, 15, 20. Who cares? Take your time. Especially like first thing in the morning. That's a good time to write your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. Just write it down, get it out your mind for a sec, then just take it and throw it and like burn that piece of paper. Why? Because it's supposed to be a study on it of, when you get that thought out of your head and actually write it down and read it out loud, it doesn't mean it fixes you or it fixes the problem, but at least you're getting it out. If you don't have someone to talk to, let's say, because I'm sure there's gonna be people listening saying, well, I don't have someone I can trust and talk to. I don't have 5 people I can call and get my emotions out and actually tell them how I feel without, being judged. All right, so write it down then. Write it down, get it out, rip it up, burn it, whatever you got to do just to get it out. again, I am very fortunate. I do have what is this? He says anxious.
Yeah, because I gotta go get my kid.
Okay.
Wait.
There
You know
you
what?
go.
I feel so much
There you
better.
go. I do want to give a shout out though. I do have Fenton, but there's a lot of people in my life, but there is a ongoing group chat. I have two of my buddies, Dan and Mike. And I am thankful for them. There's other people listening in. I'm thankful for everyone, but it's great that I do have, and yes, me, I have a circle of men in my life that I can trust and confide in to share emotions with, and not feel like, oh, I'm not man. I'm not a man because I have no. You have to be well rounded. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, like Fenton said, you're gonna eat yourself a lot. You're gonna just eat away at yourself, and it's not healthy. And that's when you hear those stories of someone jumping in front of a train or off a building or committing suicide. And I'm not making a joke. I'm not being light about that. Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. The suicide rate for men is so high, and especially in those. A lot of law enforcement. You'll hear about just suicide rates are very high because they feel they have no one to talk to. Mm-hmm. Reach out to someone. If you see someone, it could be one of your coworkers. It could be anyone you see. Just reach out like, hey, you're all right. Yeah. But genuinely shut your mouth and open your two ears and actually listen to what they have to say. You don't always have to give advice. Mm-hmm. Some people don't want advice. They just want to talk to someone. Yeah. So do a good deed for the day. Do a good deed for the week. You'd be surprised who you can help just by sitting there and listening to someone and just forgetting about yourself for 2 seconds.
Amen, bro. So that's amazing advice. I'm going to text my brother that asked me if I was crying. It was like 10 years ago, but whatever. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share with somebody who's on their personal development journey. Love you, man.
I love you too.
See y'all next week.